My sister orchestrated a family intervention to get me to leave my partner of 4 years. This has been sitting in my drafts for 6 months now. I, 25 female, met my partner, 29 male, in 2020 while I was finishing my undergrad studies, and we were both in the same field. Our first conversations were deep about our personal philosophies, culture, faith, and our views on the world, and we quickly realized that our values aligned so well. He's funny, attentive, smart, talented, and ambitious, and I was so in love. I still am. We made it official 2 months in. And low key, we both knew we wanted to marry each other already. But of course, we didn't rush as we were still finishing up school. We have the same religious background, but not the same ethnicity. And for this reason, both of us were nervous to tell our parents about our relationship because we didn't know how they would react. Most ethnic parents would want their kid to keep it within the culture. But from what I know, they may be stubborn at first, but will come around eventually. Right? For me, ethnicity is a non issue. We're both religious, so having the same faith is more important, in my opinion. I thought my parents would think the same, because if they're so religious too, then they shouldn't place their cultural values over their faith. Anyway, my partner didn't wait too long to tell his parents. They and his siblings were very supportive and welcomed me with open arms. I, on the other hand, hesitated for the longest time because I really had no idea how my parents would react. I'm a bit fearful of them. And honestly, my relationship with my parents isn't that close. Of course, they're caring and all, but not in an emotional way where I can come up to them and be vulnerable about something. Definitely not my dad. This is where I'm at fault. Because even if it was hard for me to be honest with them, I should have just done so instead of hiding my relationship from them. My siblings knew before my parents. They didn't care, but my sister, 29, on the other hand, being the eldest, aka the third parent, was too panicked about it and advised me to just end the relationship because an interracial marriage is going to be complicated. But that's not the advice I needed, and I didn't want to just end the relationship either. I truly believe that he's my soulmate. Her entire attitude towards it was kind of just, quote, I gave you my 2 cents. I don't want to be involved in this mess. I think it was a year into our relationship, and my mom found a birthday card from my partner in my room. She found my stash of greeting cards from him and read them all. She confronted me with them, and she wasn't even mad, but when I told her about his ethnicity, she freaked out. She made me tell my dad, and he just LOL'd in my face and didn't even let me talk. Took a couple of days for my mom to calm down because honestly, she really was overreacting. The conclusion was they're not happy with the relationship and they wanted me to end it. I didn't want to, of course. It was swept under the rug, and for the next 3 years, my partner and I continued our relationship and even went on some trips together. But my parents were in the dark about the specifics of it all, which, of course, the dishonesty is very wrong, but in my mind, they didn't create a safe space for me to be honest with them. I couldn't just tell them, quote, oh, hey, I'm going out for dinner and he's going to be there. Bye. Love you. XO. The conversation about us would only be brought up occasionally in those 3 years because at that point, me and him are ready to get engaged and we just need my dad's blessing. It would always end in an argument, feelings hurt, and no blessings given. They refused to even meet him. I'm still being patient and holding out hope that my dad will come around or something. By mid 2024, my dad hadn't properly spoken to me in like 2 years, but my mom, on the other hand, is a lot more understanding. I wouldn't say that she's supportive, but understanding at least. In her words, she just wants to help me avoid an unsuccessful marriage because in her mind, interracial marriages just don't work. But if I'm so sure about them, then she will be by my side, and if it fails, she'll be there with open arms. My parents are traditional, but she's always been the more level-headed one between them, besides that freak out the first time. Now to the catastrophe. End of 2024, my sister suddenly stepped in and asked to meet my partner. She's my dad's favorite, and if there's one person that could sway his thoughts, it would be her. So this opportunity excited me and my partner because it finally felt like there was a light at the end of the tunnel. We've been patient, but the stress of all of this was starting to put a strain on our relationships, especially in the last 2 years. But we loved each other a lot and didn't want to let this go, no matter what. And we would always work things out with communication. Sister and him met up and talked for hours. I wasn't there. But it went well, and he left a good impression on her, and she said she'll talk to my dad. Side note, him and I discussed beforehand that we don't need to disclose how many times we saw each other or what trips he was involved with. We know the dishonesty and hiding was wrong, but we felt like we were entitled to that privacy at the very least. He's the type that loves honesty and just says, F what people think. But I didn't believe honesty works with my parents, especially my dad, because he's someone that's very critical and will shame you for your different values, beliefs, or whatever. Now, I thought things would be dandy from here on out, but my sister was acting weird and distant, and when I would ask her what's wrong, she would just brush it off. 3 weeks of this pass, and it's the new year now. My mom sent me off to do some errands for her at a suspicious time of day, and I really felt like something was off. I come back home, and my parents and siblings are all in the living room telling me, "Sit down. We need to talk." My heart dropped. I'm sorry if this is not very detailed because honestly, that event was so traumatizing. They said they hired an investigator to find out everything about my partner and what our relationship entailed. That was a lie, of course. My parents didn't want to admit it was my sister that went through my devices and looked through all of my messages and emails and ransacked my entire room. She proudly admitted to it later. And from their findings, they concluded that he's a liar, a gaslighter, a manipulator, and that I'm a victim of this relationship. They said they found out about all of our dates and trips and are holding him accountable for it, that I was forced to lie and do things against my will, and that him, quote, showering me with gifts is just a way to manipulate me, unquote. A lot was said, and I just felt embarrassed and humiliated. It was 6 against 1, and I couldn't say anything to defend myself or him. I felt like I was being stripped naked as they went on and on and on about what they uncovered and whatever conclusions they drew from them. Him and I are semi-long distance, so most of our talks are through text. So for them to read everything, like my vulnerable side that I only felt comfortable showing him, our intimate conversations, our arguments where we both showed some really ugly sides of us, it just felt so invasive. They claimed he's putting a wedge between me and them and that I was ruining the family peace. They wanted me to feel shame, and it worked. In the end, I was given an ultimatum, and I felt like I had no other choice but to just agree with them and leave him. I was numb. They made me block him, and my sister texted him that we're over and threatened to file a restraining order if he were to ever come near me. He didn't answer that text. I was numb, and I couldn't even cry anymore. I surrendered. I couldn't even fight anymore. At that point, I was just nodding and agreeing to whatever they say. The following days, they were so nice to me because I was a good daughter and I complied to them. And they were the heroes that saved me from a toxic man. But I'm on house arrest and on close watch. I had to hand over my phone when they asked, so they make sure I never reach out to him. My soulmate was ripped away from me, and I didn't know what to do. 2 to 3 weeks later, I woke up a little from my numbness. I was angry. I was angry at my sister for betraying my trust. I was angry at my father for being so bigoted. I was angry at all of them for invading my privacy. I was angry at the entire situation because it's not my fault they never gave me the support and comfort to even be honest with them. I made mistakes, but I blame them for it. I cried to my mom about it, and I told her, you know what? I don't care if you guys think he's a bad person. I would rather learn that on my own than be forced to leave him and regret it my entire life. They treat me like an effing kid. I told her I will always be angry at them for what they did. She urged me to talk to my dad again and tell him what I told her. She told me I should just proceed with marrying my partner against their wishes and accept any consequences. She told me that she'll be by my side. Before I talked to my dad, I sent him a letter through text. We're both confrontational people, so I felt like this would be a good way to express my feelings. I apologized deeply for everything. I clarified that I never meant to disrespect him or my family members. I put anger aside for this letter because anger doesn't work with a stubborn man like my dad. I tried to be vulnerable. I tried to tell him that all I want is their support and trust in me. My dad didn't give an answer to that letter, but he forwarded it to my sister, and she blew up on me by text and called me a manipulator for sending that letter. Her words were so nasty. She had never made me cry as much as she did back then. My dad came to my room afterward to talk, or rather, yell at me. I never cried so much. Whoever that was in front of me was not my dad. I never knew that he could be so cruel. He threatened to leave my mom and tear this whole family apart if I chose to be with my partner. I'm broken and numb, and I've never felt so alone. I don't know what to do.
If you want extra content weekly, head over to patreon.com/storytimesociety and become a member on there for extra content. Love you.
Holy shiitake mushrooms. You would really think that this girl was like 15 years old, like Romeo and Juliet. She's like with a forbidden lover. And I know that that's like a thing, and that's a common thing with different cultural backgrounds and like ethnic backgrounds and stuff, but I don't think that makes it okay. Like, I really don't. And I always like get nervous that I'm gonna like seem insensitive saying that, or insensitive saying something like that, because obviously I don't have like firsthand experience. Like, I don't have an ethnic family, and so I can't relate in that sense. But like, I think anything that is rooted in bigotry is not okay. And of course it's like, yes, do I can I kind of empathize and be like, that's how they were raised. And like a lot of people that are raised that way, or, you know, brainwashed almost. I don't know if I would call it brainwashed. I don't know. I guess like they could be, yeah, brainwashed from their parents, and that's just something that they like hand down throughout their family, and that's what their parents did to them, or that's just like what is normal in their culture, so they think that it's like okay to behave that way and be like so bigoted towards other people, even though you see that your literal daughter is like so happy with this person, and she's like so in love and loves this person so much, and you care more about the, you know, ethnicity, or I guess like how it's going to look on the outside, or I guess continuing. I don't know. What's the like main reason that people, is it just to like continue that like ethnicity throughout the bloodline? Is that what that like, is that what the, okay. So what I'm finding is cultural continuity. Is that how you pronounce that? Fuck. Why is there always at least one word in every episode that I don't know how to pronounce? Shared life experiences, pressure from extended family or community, concerns about discrimination, religious or caste based rules. In some cultures, marrying within the same religion or caste is a long-standing expectation tied to spiritual beliefs or social status, personal comfort, or identity. These reasons can be a mix of love, fear, and tradition, but they can also overlap with stereotypes or bias. Individual families vary widely. Some are adamant about it, while others may initially prefer it, but become more open once they get to know their child's partner. Yeah, I mean, anyways, I kind of like know why. Obviously, it's like they want, yeah, I get it. I get it. Whatever. I mean, I just don't think that it's right. And also, I don't think that it's right to make it like so, like blow it up into this big of a situation where you're genuinely like terrorizing your own family member, and these are the types of families that I feel like often get cut off by other family members, because I wouldn't want that type of person in my life. I feel like if my whole family was acting this way, like, why would I want to choose you guys who are treating me like actual dog shit, like scum of the earth, over my partner who loves me and who treats me so well? Like, what, I know like the pressure of how that feels, and not personally, but I can empathize with her feeling like pressured to choose her family. Obviously, that's her family. It's like such a hard decision to make. She's known them her whole life. Like, she's grown up with them for her whole entire life. But I also feel like the best possible thing to do would be to get away from people like that. And unfortunately, I don't think that it's something that really will change. At least your mom is there to support you. I feel like your dad's kind of too far gone. Like, at that point, he's like an older man, probably like in his late 50s, early 60s. And I feel like at that point, it's like, you can change, of course, of course. I believe that at any age you can change, but the like motivation to change is probably not there. And that's how he's lived his whole life, like 60 years of his life, believing that is like the right thing to do. I just don't think anything in his brain is going to flip and be like, "Yep, I should start being this way." And also, it is a hard thing, I feel like, to, I mean, a lot of things that like the way that you're raised is can be so hard to, como se dice? I don't know the word that I'm looking for, but like unbrainwash yourself from, I guess, like, not saying it's all brainwash everything that you learn, but there's a, like, for me, religion was something that I grew up with my whole entire life, and it's something that I've been unlearning, I guess, like more so deconstructing would be like the correct term for that. But and it's hard, like it is a hard thing, and it's just, that's just my like religion, which wasn't, it's not like that's like Christianity isn't like something that is like so deeply rooted in, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like other religions I feel like are more so like being Jewish is more so like a culture, and it's more like an identity. I mean, Christianity can be too, but I feel like on different levels, if that makes sense. So I don't fucking know. I'm debating myself right now. I'm literally debating myself. But yeah, like deconstructing my faith has been really, really hard. Like it's been something that I've been not like forcing myself. It's just been in a really natural process. And, but it's the part of being like able to speak about it and like be okay with other people knowing that like I'm not religious anymore when that was something that my identity was so deeply rooted in for so long of my life. Like that was just a part of who I am. And I always, especially because I was always taught like, you know, people that aren't Christians, like it's almost like you kind of look down on them, which obviously isn't the right thing to do, but I will say that is like a big thing in the Christian community, at least the ones that I've been a part of. And it's always like, you know, they aren't believing the right things. Like even just other people in other religions, it would be like you should save them, like get them to come to Jesus, even if they're just like a different religion, which is like so scummy in my opinion. When I look back on it, I'm like, ew, because who are you to say that like their religion is the wrong religion and yours is the right one? Like that's so scummy of them in my opinion. But that's just like something that you're taught. It's like, oh, they're atheists. Like I was taught that atheists were the like the devil. Like not actually, but just looked so down upon. Like you hear the word atheist and you like get scared out of your mind. You're like, oh, holy water, like I need to go pray. I don't know. I guess I honestly feel like I was never like a part of an evangelical group or anything, but I almost feel like I was because of how deeply rooted all of those beliefs were. And like, anyways, the top comment says, go be with your partner or you'll be miserable for the rest of your life. You're an adult, leave. If your partner loves you, he will accept you with open arms. You can make your own family. 100%. And that's not to say that it's going to be easy. It's going to be so hard. Like you're letting go of your family that you love, even though they're doing something so terrible to you. You still love them. Okay, let's read the update since I just fucking debated myself for a whole 2 hours. 2 months later. Hi guys, I really do apologize for the late update. I really did not expect my post to get that many replies, but I'm so grateful for all the advice you guys gave me. Thank you. When I wrote that first post, I was all emotional and depressed, so reading it now, even I can sense the oh poor me tone in it. January me was probably expecting lots of sympathy or whatever, but you guys were harsh, and to be honest, I needed to hear that. You guys are completely right. While what my family did was evil and wrong, my life is in my hands, and it's my fault for not stepping up for myself and my partner sooner. I can't keep expecting things to be done for me. I wanted to make this post to clarify some things and update you about what has happened since January. It may not be the most satisfying update, but I at least have changed a lot since then. First of all, I'm still in contact with my partner. I don't blame you for assuming otherwise since that post was uploaded months later, so it was pretty confusing. When my family did the whole thing of making me block him everywhere and take my devices and basically threaten me to not talk to him, that lasted maybe like 3 days. It was in the middle of the night. I was crying hard because I missed him, but also because I'm here, alone, extremely heartbroken, just wishing someone would hold me and show me some sort of real care towards me and what I'm going through. And I realized, wow, my family really doesn't give an F about me. Like, at least check up on me. When they would, it was more of a just making sure you know your place type of checkup. So I reached out to him and told him everything. There was a lot of I told you so from him, and I really do give him a lot of credit for putting up with my BS. My entire life, I was, quote, trained like a monkey, as one of the comments said. So I was taught to be obedient for literally minimal reward. And I thought if I was just gentle with my approach and still did everything they wanted from me, I would get what I wanted in the end because I earned it, right? No. And this is not a unique experience, unfortunately. This is so common with people in many cultures because parents, for some reason, believe they are entitled to make choices for their adult children. My partner was understanding and helped me finally see that the environment I'm living in is toxic and abusive, and no amount of obedience and kindness is going to make them respect me. I've been getting therapy for months now, and shocker, it really helps. I would always question what I did wrong and how I can approach them differently to get different results. I would always question why my sister would betray me like that. I would always question why my father would tell me I, quote, deserve to be hurt, and so many other questions. But I've let go of caring for any sort of answer now. I've let go of the idea that I need any approval from them. I've let go of ever having a civil conversation with them. I've let go of any expectations. I still live with them, unfortunately. I don't talk with my dad and I don't talk with my sister. I keep things cordial with my mom, but I don't trust confiding in her anymore because at the end of the day, she feels the need to side with her husband. Her 60-year-old man child of a husband that's been verbally abusing her for years now and throwing tantrums anytime things don't go his way. But instead of making him aware of himself, my sister and mom just choose to give him what he wants, no matter who it hurts. I still have 2 years of education with no income, and I need this degree in my career, so it wouldn't make sense to drop out temporarily. But I'm working on trying to find something on the side to depend on and move out as soon as I can. To everyone saying he should leave me, I agree. Any man would have. Good thing he's an angel. Oh, that's such a hard. At least it's like temporary, so you can see that there's like at least a light at the end of the tunnel once you're done and you can like try to get away from your family. That's just like so hard, and I would hate to be put in that position. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.